Friends, good morning. And welcome to worship on this somewhat frosty Sunday morning here in the historic sanctuary of the Fountain Street Church in downtown Grand Rapids. This is a church that has provided a home for progressive spirituality, religious freedom, and social justice for over 150 years, right here in the heart of our city. I'm Nathan Dannison. It's my honor to welcome you to our worship service together today. No matter where you are on your journey, you are welcome here. The people who are here can become your people, and this circle can become your circle. So I want to thank everybody who was here with us on campus this week, making miracles happen, especially for people in need right now. We're living out our values as a church in a moment when the government and the powers and principalities have become very hostile toward the poor, toward the stranger, and toward people in need. It appears that the state is also organizing against children, against the elderly. We are only one church, and we cannot replace the social contract. But we can lean into our values of social justice and equity and care for the least of these, who are our siblings and fellow travelers. So this week we were able to provide many different forms of assistance, transportation for people in need, able to work to keep 2 families in their homes, preventing eviction. We helped reunite yet another family to weather this storm. Leaders of some of the committees at Fountain Street in every area of the church life are organizing around raising money and providing emergency funds to our local food banks, as well as sending financial support to Feeding America. So finally, we are able together to provide something else, something that I think is precious. It is a moment of rest and a moment of community. Simply saying good morning and how are you? Simply introducing yourself to somebody on a Sunday morning can help somebody weather a living hell. This is an act of resistance and love. Radical hospitality is hard. I know it's hard. And I see the work that you are putting in and the work that our staff are doing to help this community here downtown get through this storm. Please wear your name tags. If you have one, please wear your name tags, or you can fill out a peel and stick name tag. We're working on making all of this easier, but learn people's first names, especially the kids. Learn the names of the people who are here on Sunday morning. It's a small thing, but our first name is incredibly powerful and healing to hear. So the congregation of Fountain Street is about to have an election. Fountain Street Church is a democracy. The church members vote to elect from within themselves the leaders of this church on the governing board. If you're a voting member of the church, you should have received a ballot in your email to vote for candidates for the governing board and to amend your church's bylaws. There is a question and answer session today after worship. So this will take the place of Fountain Street 101 today. It's a question and answer time to speak with Spalding Wall, your governing board chair, and ask questions about the bylaw amendments. You can also email your questions or reach out to the chair of the governing board at chair@fountainstreet.org. So I want to thank the liturgical arts team for helping obtain and get this beautiful work of art by Penny Schindler this morning, sharing this beautiful antipendium pulpit piece. It is titled Caring for One and Other. And for the flowers this morning, I want to thank the family of Jean McDonald, whose memorial service we will celebrate here in the sanctuary at 3 p.m. today. And finally, there are a couple of amazing great speaker events that are coming up in the next 2 weeks here at the church. First, this Friday on November 14th, we will welcome Dr. Derek Peterson, who is the Ali Masri Chair Professor of History and African Studies at the University of Michigan, to discuss his new work and his findings, his book, A Popular History of Idi Amin's Uganda, discussing the rise of that regime and its implications for the current moment in U.S. politics. And then on Saturday, November 22nd, Mike Casey will be here. Mike Casey is a former U.S. soldier and diplomat, and he will speak on the future of Palestine and the United States. I think many of you probably, well, maybe you may not remember, but Mike Casey was, his final assignment was with the U.S. State Department in Jerusalem, where he served the Office of Palestinian Affairs, and he resigned in 2004 over U.S. policies in Gaza. And he has much to say regarding the ongoing genocide in Gaza. So please attend these events and also read the weekly newsletter, The Chimes, for more events as well as our plans for the holiday season. It is upcoming, fast, soon to be upon us. Christmas, a religion in and unto itself at Fountain Street Church. Prepare yourselves accordingly. This year I have done so. It will be my second Christmas with you. You won't catch me flat-footed this time. This church will continue to shine as a place of peace, a place where peace might become a verb rather than a noun, maybe a practice rather than just a hope. And so let us practice our peace. I will give a greeting. You may return it if you wish, but then I'll invite you to greet one another with similar words before we sing our opening hymn together. Friends, may peace be with you. Let's go ahead and greet one another with words.
Good morning. Please join me in our first reading, A Place of Meeting, by Reverend Eileen Carpellis. Out of the wood and stone, out of dream and sacrifice, a people build a home. Out of the work of their hands and hearts and minds, the people fashion a symbol and a reality. May this house be truly a place of meeting, meeting in warmth and joy and openness, meeting in courage and love and trust. May all who enter here trust one another so surely that they may share the deep fires that burst into anger as much as the sweet spring waters that swell into laughter, the slow erosion of wounded tears as much as the soaring song. May these walls know silence as 100 hearts search inward, each for its own small spark of hope that might otherwise be snuffed out in the noise. May these rafters hear the voice of the child as surely as that of the orator. May they hear the sound of the lute and the clack of the typewriter and the swish of the broom, and know that all are as holy as the shout of 1,000,000 stars. May the rain fall lightly on this house, and the sun shine warmly, and the winds blow softly, and bless it as a place of joy and peace.
All of the children who are here with us this morning to come forward and join me up here. Come on forward. You know what? I want to show you this painting, though. So hang out over here if you can for a second. I want to look at this. This is so beautiful. So you join me up here, and we'll do it standing today, just because I want you to see this. I thought it was so gorgeous when I came. Good morning. How are you? All the children are welcome to come forward if you want. You can hang out with me, and we're going to talk about this really quick before we bless this church and send you on your way. I already asked one of you this morning if you see anything in here. But this is by Penny Schindler. She's a wonderful artist, and she's part of this church. Sometimes we put things on the pulpit to celebrate the season that we're in together. And Penny created this. It is beautiful. What do you see in here today? Yeah.
I gotta take off my coat.
You can take your coat off. That's all right. That's good. Yeah. What do you see?
I see corn, beans, and pumpkin.
Corn, bean, and pumpkin. You got all three. Okay, I see. You're good. So now what do you see?
And I see lots of unusually shaped leaves.
Unusually shaped leaves. Yeah.
With unusual, things that look oddly like flowers.
Yeah. Like there's flowers in there too. Does anybody? What do you see?
Daddy, you knew is the symbol, but I see a bunch of plants.
Yeah, a bunch of plants. That's good. What do you see, Sweet Pea?
I see some bunch of lumps, some leaves.
Yeah, some leaves. I think it also, you know what I love? It kind of looks like a stained glass window a little bit too. But Jill, I know some of you probably know about this in school, but this is an image of something that's called Tres Hermanas, the three sisters. That's right. These are three plants that are really, really important to all of the human beings that have lived in North America and South America for the last, forever. So these plants were cultivated one after the other, starting about 10,000 years ago. Hey, buddy, yeah?
I know what pumpkin is in Spanish.
You know what pumpkin is in Spanish?
Calabaza.
Calabaza, sí, perfecto. That's great. I'm glad you're getting out ahead of me. Yeah. So these are also, the first one that was cultivated about 10,000 years ago was the squash, the pumpkins that was about. And then in about 6,000 to 8,000 years ago was the maize, was the corn, and then beans came after. But the wonderful thing about these three plants is that they work really well together, you know. The squash, the pumpkin, has these big, beautiful leaves, helps shade the ground and keep it cold and keep it healthy. And then the maize, the corn, provides a thing for the beans to grow on.
I think those
Yeah.
are the pumpkins.
That's right, they are. Good job. But the wonderful thing about this, and there's a lot of stories about it, and I know that you probably have learned some of them, but as they work together, they all do different stuff. The beans put nitrogen in the soil. You know about nitrogen fixation. It's really important for healthy lawns and gardens. So these have been grown by people, but the people that grew them around here where we live was the Cahokian people. I think about 1,000 years ago brought this agriculture here. They work together, right? They work together, just like we work together. You help the church, and we help the church, and we all work together. And then we grow really delicious food. So it's kind of a cool Thanksgiving thing. Remember, Thanksgiving's coming before Christmas. Yes? Mm-hmm.
I see a crown up there.
You do see a crown. Yeah, that's beautiful. All right, maybe for our blessing today, we can just maybe hope that we grow together, okay? Let's go ahead and raise a hand in blessing before character school. And you can repeat after me if you want. Together, we will help each other grow. We will help each other grow. Wonderful. Y'all can go to character school. I'll follow as a banner and make your way if you want.
Good morning, I'm Holly, and this is The Guest House by Rumi. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture, still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice. Meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond.
In gratitude for guests, let us take a moment together in silent meditation and reflection. Arise, my soul. Give me words. Amen. Fountain Street Church, happy Sunday. This, as I mentioned this week, this campus really became a community hub every day of the week throughout the day for healing and protest and for prophecy and justice and hope, and also kind of like a field hospital for many, many injured people, spiritually, economically injured people from our community. And I know that you see them and you see the work and you do the work. And then on Sunday morning, we set aside this hour to think about and reflect on the fundamental truth that we're here yet every week because we still believe that there is cause for celebration, because there will be victory, and that judicious hope is worth the gamble, to mash up the words of both David Rankin and Duncan Littlefair. Judicious hope is worth the gamble. This month, we are working to plan a financial budget for this church for next year. Fountain Street Church is growing. It is growing by every metric that I have. And I want to take a moment to just review a couple things that I know to be true about growing churches. I know, in fact, just as every senior minister working in churches today knows, that it is easier to budget for a shrinking church. They won't always say that, but they know it. It is easier to write an annual budget for a church in decline. Things are more predictable. The expectations are lower. You don't lose sleep figuring out the money that you don't have. You just know it. And low expectations are easy. Low expectations, they're easier. The minister could eliminate a program and nobody is going to yell at the minister. The minister can say, "I'm sorry, folks, we just can't do it." You know, that act of cutting, of reducing, of shrinking, of despair is like a summons that goes out to like attracting the eye of Sauron to your physical location. It's every week, I get letters every minister gets these letters that come to you in the mail. I think they're sent by robots, frankly. And when I get them, they go directly. Most ministers just shred them, but I don't. I keep mine because I'm weird. And these are letters from development companies. These go to every minister of every mainline church in America on a pretty regular basis. I hang on to them. The iron hand of capital kind of hovers over beautiful old churches like a hungry vulture these days. They don't really want the church. They want the dirt underneath it, right? Dear Reverend Dennison, they always get my name wrong. So, real estate opportunities are being created. In August, our real estate sold the biggest church in Michigan, Detroit World Outreach, 198,000 square feet for $4.2 million. So we work with churches to create revenue streams. Oh, good. That's good. Yeah, so there's leases. They do 5-year leases here. It says $8,000 a month for the. Could this be of interest to you? These services are in addition to our core services of helping congregations find a new home. I'll bet. Yes. Religious Real Estate Services has been selling churches for 23 years. Wow. Christ have mercy. Thank you, Bill Skubnik, president of this. That's scary stuff, right? But God bless them. I mean, they don't know what we know about judicious hope, and they don't know about growth and about what's happening here. And my measurements are better than his, right? Because we've been in the church. We've been studying this stuff for like 400 years. The greatest decline that this congregation, the Fountain Street Church, ever experienced is so far in the rearview mirror that most of you are totally unfamiliar with. In 1938 and 39, this church very nearly folded down to 50 or 60 people in worship. Right? So this church is today, it's on pace to become one of the strongest churches in the city of Grand Rapids in about 5 to 10 years. So we're not going anywhere, Bill, anytime soon, at least not in the lifetime of anyone here. But while growth is good to celebrate and affirm and talk about, the other truth is that it is hard. It's hard. It's hard to be a member of a growing church, first of all. We've talked about this before. And a shrinking church is easier, right? Not just for the pastor, but for the members and the volunteers and leaders. Whereas if in a shrinking church, you don't have to learn a bunch of new names, and on Sunday morning, nobody's going to be sitting in your spot, There's your spot. That's yours, And the minister's not going to ask you to teach new people how to do your stuff. Your stuff is your stuff, and you don't have to teach anybody. And you're going to see your friends every Sunday. You're going to come and see your longtime friends. No new strangers, just old friends, right? So, fewer and fewer of them each Sunday as time proceedeth, but you don't have to. And a growing church is hard. It's hard. Who are these people? And it can be loud, and it can be uncomfortable. Whose kid is that? And I'd be like, it's yours. It's all of your kids. It takes a village, You can't. Who's coming and going? And then you see less and less of the squirrely minister, right? What is he doing all day anyway? I haven't seen him, You get my point. And to try to match growth, the prediction or the projection of growth to the dollars, trying to get payroll to catch up with growth, and trying to help people's ideas, and their wonderful ideas, but to help them line up with reality is exhausting and challenging and difficult. Because the ideas at Fountain Street Church are good. They're really good. People share them with me all the time. They say, you know what we should do? And they tell me something just revolutionary and beautiful. Ideas about providing respite care and drop-in care and integrating with some of the hospital systems that are doing work, and for providing shelter and hope for members of our community who are just beaten and ground into the dirt by the material circumstances of our culture today, and people who are people who are part of oppressed minorities and groups who have never had a church home. But here we see this possibility for hope, to give people something that perhaps they grew up thinking was impossible or wasn't for them. Getting a lending library together, but producing printed material to share with the community in the city, broadcasting the amazing culture that comes out of this place. This church is an engine for cultural production in the center of this city. And in my mind, I hear these ideas, and it just starts this timer sort of ticking. And this prayer, I say, God, please do not let this person give up on this idea before the funding catches up with the mission. Because people can be impatient, and funding can take time. It can take time. We have to have that, though. We have to have a symbol, and then we have to have a reality. A symbol, and then that comes first, the metaphysical hope. And then the reality, the work of the hands, is the physical reality, the thing that is physical. These churches like this, these cathedrals of hope and vision, they are durable, intergenerational communities. They occupy the landscape on centuries of history. And because of that, in many ways, they can resemble glaciers. Glaciers move so slow. When I see, on the other hand, I go out and I see big mega churches and these big, huge operations that they have out there, some evangelical project, always out in the suburbs, and sprawling parking lots and celebrity pastors. And that's like, on the history landscape, that's like a major weather event, right? Compared to a glacier. It could be like a forest fire or a flood or something. So right now, in my former home, in my beloved little city of Kalamazoo, a local megachurch, well, kind of local. I don't know if they're local. I don't think they could be on the moon for all I know. But this megachurch is buying up small businesses and properties in the downtown area. And it's really freaking people out. On both sides of the equation, because they're not paying taxes on that property. They're putting in a lot of like business incubators and a lot of coffee shops and juice bars, I think, for trad wives or whatever. It feels to a lot of the people who have lived there their whole lives, it feels like a religious flood. I saw a post about a new bakery that was going into the city, and every other comment was like, "Is this because of that church? Is it owned by that church? Who's doing this?" And then you read the name of this mega church, you can't figure it out. What are they? Who are they? They sound like credit unions. Like the name of it used to be a church. Here I go. I'm going to get going. That's okay. I'm going to do this. Used to be a church, just used to be like First Baptist Church. It's like, okay, well, that's what they are. They're the first of them, and they're Baptists, or Third Reformed Church or something like that. Or else you'd get, like the St. Gwynifred's Chapel of the Holy Biscuit or whatever the sort of thing that's like you go to another, you'd see like the New Apostolic Revelation of Holiness Revival Center, and you're like, I know what that's about, right? There didn't used to be anything hiding behind branding. And now you get the big evangelical churches, and it's like called Bloom, or like Alliance, or Vibe, And so that's a joke. Those are actually names of credit unions. But I got you with that, so. With the church, maybe the church is called Relevant, right? That's a church name I just saw, Relevant. And it's, well, Relevant Church. I mean, you may be for about a month, and we'll see, Should just call it the Holy Flaming Chalice of Instagram, I think so. And I do love you guys because there's no confusion about Fountain Street Church. Right? You put the driving directions right there in the name of the church. It's like just Fountain Street. It's very smart branding, I think. So the problem here, the tension between these two ideas about basing your entire community's religious identity on being relevant to the moment, the problem with that is that moments have a history and habit of passing. And so like a flood or a major weather event, it will pass. It will pass. And 3 or 4 years later, the landscape will be changed, sure. But it will look pretty much the same as it did before in most cases. And that's why a church like this, like Fountain Street, I describe it more as like a glacier. It is something that carves canyons on the cultural landscape. And this is true at the national level as well. Just as an aside, one of the reasons I always kind of laugh a little bit about the question of denominations and Fountain Street Church is because it's an optical illusion that makes it look like a serious question to say what denomination is Fountain Street Church. Right? So I'll speak just to my own affiliations. Right? I'm ordained in the United Church of Christ. Okay? That was a denomination formed on June 25th in 1957 in Cleveland, Ohio, when 3 Protestant churches, the Evangelical Reformed and the General Council of Congregational Christian Churches and the Afro-Christian Convention united, 1957. All right, so when that happened, when my denomination was literally born, at that same time, Duncan Littlefair had been the minister of this church for 13 years already. Fountain Street Church, when my denomination was born, Fountain Street was over 100 years old and had itself passed through 2 separate denominations and then had finally extracted itself from yet a third and was considering a fourth, right? So what I'm trying to say is that floods come and go, and history happens, but a place like this dominates the landscape of a community like a glacier. I'm asking you in this season of life to take hold of the reins of a glacier. Your pledge, your investment in this place is important because it is the budget of this church for the next year that can help these beautiful ideas connect with the material realities. So a church like this that have a budget of $1 million a year, and the church has a foundation, that's a trust that was set up by your ancestors to help out with the maintenance and upkeep of the physical building, but that's a fraction. That's a fraction of what it takes to move the glacier forward. So everything else that you see, the life in here, the programming, every single member of the staff, from the custodians to the Sunday school teachers to the audio video staff, our musicians, our wonderful musicians, and yes, the minister, supported by the pledges, by the budget. Grateful, each of us, for the opportunity to have been called out of our lives to serve a place like this, to translate the living hope of these people into the daily work of the church. And also the justice work and the charity work that this place pours into the city. The fellowship events and every single worship service here on Sunday morning and there in this room and in the chapel as well, 100% of that is funded entirely by your donations. And all of it is budgeted for based on the pledges that you faithfully turn in each year. Your financial support of this place. It is the work of many hands and time and talent and treasures. But it is your financial pledges that can allow the leadership of this church to translate your ideas into reality on the ground. I chose the first reading that we shared today, and I hope you take it with you. I hope you think about this responsive reading that we shared, A Place of Meeting. It's a building blessing by Reverend Carpellis, a sainted Unitarian Universalist minister, describing the material spiritual work of building something durable and intergenerational, like a force of nature created by human hands, out of wood and stone, out of dream and sacrifice. The people build a home. Out of the work of their hands and hearts and minds, the people fashion a symbol and a reality. A symbol and a reality. The village of Jostedal, Norway. Jostedal, from Jostedalsbreen, from the Old Norse, Jostrudal, the broken river of ice. The name of that village for over 1,000 years simply means glacier. It's hard to see. It is hard to see when you're dealing with floods and wildfires and all of the raging madness of the world today, but glaciers shape the face of the planet Earth. And Fountain Street Church shapes the culture of the city of Grand Rapids. Give generously and pledge, because I think that 2026 and 2027 are going to be two of the most impactful seasons of Fountain Street Church in living memory. I do. And right out there are 2 generations on your heels. Right there on the threshold of this door, this church, right there are 2 generations looking up the steps and through the doors, looking to see if they can find themselves in this place. And when they step through, they will find an unbroken circle, strong and proud as a glacier, shining like the sun, an unbroken circle growing larger, and then, with their arrival, larger still, ready to receive them. Let us prepare for them. Amen. Your generosity in giving support the daily work of this congregation here in the heart of the city of Grand Rapids. And in just a moment, I will ask the ushers to come forward and receive any gifts or offerings that you have brought before us this day. Please consider completing your pledge for 2026 and helping us to carry this hope, this light, and this message forward into that year of programming. At this time, I want to invite the ushers to come forward, and thank you. 10 generations to today, to 10 generations to come, we sow these gifts into the good earth, filled with judicious hope and purpose. So may it be. Let us sing together a closing hymn. We'll sing it 3 times through, number 402. Receive this charge, Fountain Street Church. This is indeed a day which the Lord has made. Let us then rejoice in it and be glad, and let us count our many blessings. Let us be grateful for the capacity to see, feel, hear, and understand. And let us be grateful for the incredible gift of life. And let us be especially grateful for the ties of love which bind us together, giving dignity, meaning, worth, and joy to all our days. Please join me in the words of our dismissal. The world will be saved by love. We go to love the world.